right, let's try this again. Good morning, chatters. I don't know what is going on. I've been trying to do this scheduled live, and it doesn't seem to be starting when I normally want it to start. So there we go. Good morning. Good morning. R, what's going on? Abby, what's going on? KJ, what's going on? Who did I miss there? Tattoo, good morning. Robert, good morning. Madison, good morning. So we got to go get some coffee. It is cold out here today. It was like in the 30s when I left my house. Grammy, good morning. Murakami, good morning. So I've been trying to schedule the live streams but then it's like on Prism Live, and I start them, and they're live on my end, but it's not sending it out to you guys, so I have to restart and redo them. So I'm working that out. 4 degrees in Minnesota. Way too cold for me. The scheduled one still says upcoming. I'll have to delete that one. So we'll walk up here, check out the progress on the Hard Rock, and then I think we'll get a coffee before we go and check out the schedule on the Hard Rock, warm up a little bit. We may end up being a little bit more inside today, maybe taking some of these connected walkways. 61 in Florida. That's a nice temperature. It's got to be getting up into the 60s today, I hope. I'm a little bit underdressed. I turned the heat on last night to take a little bit of chill out of the house, and I left it on. So the house was a little bit warmer than normal this morning, and I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Let's zoom you guys in a little bit there. See the Hard Rock a little better. There we go. They're more than halfway up there. Oh, boy. So where do we want to go today? Not too big of a crowd out here today. And there's not that many conventions out here, so we may not see the early morning walkers like we normally do. Murakami's in a heat wave, 11 degrees. Whew. Let's get a little bit of warmth. We'll walk through Harrah's and come out the other side where the McDonald's is. That'll warm me up a little bit. I know you guys are probably like, dude, it's like 40 degrees, like it's 11 and 4 we've gotten so far. What's everyone's temperature this morning? We got 9 in Cleveland. Indoors at the Venetian. Yeah, maybe we could walk up and take a walk through the Grand Canal shops. Start off up there. Grammy's got 17. Woo. That's some cold air too. We got 24. It's like no one in Harris right now. But then again, it is only, what, 7:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. Gonna have some convention people, we'll see. 24 in Georgia. '43 in Salinas, nice. Whew. '14 in Michigan, cold. These are like Arctic temperatures out here right now in Vegas, 37. We got Teddy from Chicago in town too. I got to meet up with him. He's enjoying the heat wave. Oh, a wind chill of 0. I'll tell you, the coldest I've been in like 5.5, 6 years since I moved to Philly was when I went back to Philly a couple of weeks ago for the Eagles-Raiders game. Get our coffee. We'll do 1 cream, 1 sugar. Wind chill of 0. Yeah, it was like, I think the coldest it got when we were in Philly, it felt like 5 degrees or something like that. It was absolutely cold, cold, cold. So this McDonald's got a cool ceiling. Check the ceiling out. Oh no, get out of here. It feels like -20. I would just like roll over and I would not get out of bed. So we got order 1403. That's a pretty good number. If you play the lottery in your state, that's probably a good number. So let's wait for our coffee. This is like the cheapest coffee. Well, no, it's actually not the cheapest coffee on the strip. The cheapest coffee on the strip is at In-N-Out, but they don't open till 10. Yeah, I can imagine walking the dog. Oh, maybe we could do some Keno. That would be fun. Going to a Keno parlor and just playing some Keno. We should do that. Me and Jay should go do bingo and Keno one night. We were gonna try to hook up with Grammy and do some bingo when she was out here. That would have been super fun, but just craziness of the world. That was fun, actually, getting to meet Grammy. Had some coffee in the morning with Grammy the one morning. She got me that awesome Hello Kitty.
1303.
That's me.
1302.
How was it at Palace Station? We've never played bingo at Palace Station. We go there. We go to Palace Station a lot for the pancake special and the Deuces. I think it's called Deuces Wild. They have some specials there. Use the temps as numbers. There we go. We should, yeah. Oh, nice. You all hit a little bingos. Nice. Yeah, I have so much fun when we're playing bingo. It's like, I don't know. I like the electronic bingo. Now, why would Grammy, unless it was Neon City Walkers After Dark, why would Grammy end up in the police station? Yeah, Jay actually, she really wanted to go out, but then like she started feeling like not so good. She had like a nasty, nasty cough for the past couple weeks. And yes, reading is hard. So that's looking good. The Hard Rock. There's the Mirage in the back. You see, they got most of the windows out in the Mirage. Getting rid of them gold ones. That would be cool. Somebody made a suggestion about how cool it would be if they actually sold the gold windows from the Mirage. That would be cool. So many people would buy them. There's actual 24 karat gold fleck in those windows that were at the Mirage. Gold apparently is a great conductor for the heat, or reflector for the heat rather. So that's why you see some of these buildings out here that have the gold, Trump Towers, Mandalay. Me personally, I think the gold windows are very, very tacky, which is kind of cool for Vegas. But in general, I don't really like gold windowed buildings. Jay, good morning. How you doing? All right, so somebody suggested that we go up to the Venetian, take a little walk through Grand Canal Shops, see what, there's gonna be probably nothing open at the Grand Canal Shops, but we'll try to get through them and maybe take a little walk around through and see how busy the casino floor is. So what will probably have to happen is when I get up around the Venetian, I'll probably have to pause this for a second and get onto their Wi-Fi. So the weather is, it's pretty chilly this morning, Jay. Pretty chilly. A lot more cold than I would like it to be. I can't wait until it's like in the 70s and 80s. The craps tables. A little portly ginger fellow. See what's going on this morning. Thanks for joining us. Glad you were able to catch the live stream this morning. My man was double fisting the McDonald's coffees. That would be me if I didn't have a gimbal in my hand this morning. I only threw together, like at home, I made a little small batch of coffee.
It's Vegas.
Yeah, it's a cold 35 degrees, Mauricio. It is. And I don't like the cold no more, man. I used to tolerate it.
instantly cover their
anymore.
costs by crediting your club
I've
account
turned
with
into like
$20 in player payback free play
an old
credits.
miser
Play
about
on and continue to
the
earn a
cold
$20
weather.
player payback reward for every $100 lost.
It is. And those rooms that are on the slant right there where it's rounded, they are going to be so cool to be able to look out over the strip.
We come to you and get you
You're going to have to get in those rooms
so that
eventually.
you're quickly on your way to earning player payback credits for your slot play.
I'm going to guess that those rooms are probably going to be around some of those super executive suites and stuff like that are probably going to be around $5,000 a night for a lot of them suites, which is kind of like, I think, a standard out here for a lot of the nicer suites. Like the villas that Mirage used to have, I think they were around $5,000 a night. Yes, we have palm trees, which is wonderful. I love the palm trees. I think I tell people all the time that when we go to like places like downtown Summerlin or Town Square, and you're walking through the mall there, and you see all the palm trees, it reminds me of like Beverly Hills 90210. Yeah, for F1, those rooms are going to be hella expensive, man. Oh, that would be cool. Like a nice little hammock or like one of those swing chairs, yeah. Like one of them chairs that you see in like all the 70s movies and stuff. That would be awesome. Imagine having to climb all the way up to the top of the crane every morning to start your job. That is quite a climb. Them guys got to be in pretty good shape. Now they got the sidewalk over there closed off. So now you're forced to cross back over here. So that's another sidewalk. They had to cover sidewalk for a while there. Yeah, I wonder what their comp system's going to be like there. I wonder if they're like pretty good with like comping out stuff. I already have a player's card from there. The last night the Mirage was open, you were able to sign up for the Players Club for the Hard Rock. So I signed up for it. I already have it. And I always go back and forth like, man, I would love to work there. But then, out here, you can't really hang out where you work. So if you get in trouble on it, you work for MGM and you get in trouble at an MGM property, or you're out with your friends and they do something stupid, you could get fired for that. So, I don't think I would be getting a job over there because I think I'm going to want to hang out in there. Debbie, what's going on? Yeah, we just gotta, I think we're gonna have to jump into the Wi-Fi here in a moment. What's the temperature where you're at, Debbie? So, here's my favorite part about this walkway, these floors. Look at these floors. They're like optical. Looks like you're gonna step into a hole. 10 degrees for Debbie. The Q*bert floor. You guys remember Q*bert? That looks like from the video game Q*bert. You youngsters that don't know Q*bert, go check it out. It was like a very basic game back in the day that us Gen Xers enjoyed. Yeah, so I had to take down like 3 videos on TikTok. They added like music to them that we did not add. Doug, you got 8 degrees in PA. Where at in PA? That's my home state. What's Qbert? Oh, Murakami. I know you know what Qbert is. This one looks like you would trip over them until you walk over them. Then I know Qbert was, I mean, it was like such basic games. We grew up with such basic games. You know, none of this crazy, like talking with your friends on the internet kind of stuff. Yeah, it's definitely going through a lot of changes, TikTok, right now. Feels like -7. Forget it. -7 is not a good temperature for me. North of Pittsburgh, nice. I love Pittsburgh, one of my favorite cities. Well, Debbie, it's 37 here right now in Vegas, so this is pretty cool too. Next time I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen, but when you're walking on these rugs here, right? So they have blue rings around these, but when you're walking in here, if you just glance down at the rug, the circles, the blue circles turn red. So next time you're in the Venetian, check it out when you're walking through the Grand Canal shops. Super, super cool. It's kind of like something that you just kind of notice as you're walking. Yeah, this is very... Oh, let's head back out because it's not hooking onto the Wi-Fi. It's not allowing me to hook onto the Wi-Fi. So we're gonna have to skip this. I don't know what's going on. Sit down for a second. Figure this out. All right, I think we got it now. All right, there we go. There we go. Josh, what's going on? Got it. Got it, got it. I think we're good now. We'll see. Our channel here, we appreciate all the support you guys give us with the subscribes, with the subscriptions, with the likes. Let's go through here. Does look so nice in here in the morning time. see. Yeah, Deb, we've been doing both. YouTube is more of the longer ones, and TikTok are more of the shorter, spur of the moment type ones. There's a lot more effort that goes into the YouTube ones. So, yeah, there's some money down there in the canals. We can see a couple dollar bills. Yeah, this is a great spot to walk in the morning. You got a couple dollar bills. You see all the change littering the floor there, the floor of the canals. We'll get around down the other end. That's usually where a lot more money is. So this is St. Mark's Square. Remember when they used to have the like the statues and stuff that sung? They say they still have that. I have not seen that in a while. They had a stage over here. Remember, like they would stand on this stage and they would perform a little song or a little act. I have not seen that for a long time. So, but this is a beautiful, beautiful spot to walk through. It's great in the morning. They did they built a lot of it to scale, some of the bridges and things on the outside. Plus it's great because the Venetian and the Palazzo, they have a year-round pools. They have a couple pools open. I think they have 8 pools in total, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken on that. I'm not 100% on that, but I do know that they have them year-round. Couple pools open. Opening soon, Redhead Burger. Never heard of it. Joe, what's going on, buddy? Has anyone ever heard of Redhead Burger? I've never heard of a Redhead Burger. So we can go follow them on Redhead Burger official. Go check them out. Josh, yeah, these are, these do get a little bit confusing in here. Easy to get lost. This is the food court area back here. What, Redhead Burger? Yeah, you guys got hammered. The country has gotten hammered with snow. They in Philly, 5 to 8 minutes away, does not go over and shovel his own mom out. He's too lazy to do that. Piece of shit, but whatever. When we lived in Philly and we would get a dusting of snow, I would drive half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it would take to get to my mother-in-law's house and shovel her out, and a couple neighbors that are a little bit older and shouldn't be shoveling snow. This kid lives like literally less than 10 minutes away and, can't do that. But whatever. Enough of that. Can't change that, right? You can't change people. Yeah, we're going to have to look into this Redhead Burger. Check it out. Nice little view of the canals. Now you see that archway up there in the canal. That is like a little semi-secret sitting area in La Macaron. So we have a video on that. It is a cool, chill little, it's kind of actually a little romantic up there if it's not too crowded. You know, good spot to go and grab some coffee and dessert and sit up there. Redhead Burger seems to be a South Beach, Miami thing. Thank you, Madison. I wonder what the prices are going to be like. Probably going to be a little bit, probably going to be a little bit on the expensive side, I would imagine, if they're coming from South Beach, Miami. It's a hidden gem at La Macaron. Yes. I hate that term, hidden gem. It's so overused. It's like, here's a hidden gem, In-N-Out Burger. And it's like, everyone knows about In-N-Out Burger. It's not hidden, but this place right here, Tra, I think that's how you spell it. Vid Coffee and Tea, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I usually get there's like an egg cream, I think that you can get on it. It is so good. And they make their iced coffee, and they can it. They have like a little canner in there that like, when you make your iced coffee, order your iced coffee, they put it in a can, they put a lid on it. Yeah, another one, another burger joint. See, Doves, what's going on? Yes, an elevated sit-in experience. So you go right up them steps right there. And that is that little balcony area. Yeah, there's like a lot of things that it's like, you know, I mean, I understand social media and, you know, you're trying to use all these buzzwords and things. I don't know. Sometimes when it's like, you know, we're doing a video, and you're like, oh, here's a little hidden gem. And it's like, you know, I just feel like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Eli, what's going on? Nice. That's a Neon City Walker early morning. So this place, let me show you this place here. Sloan's, they got, if you're looking for some good ice cream, this is like, I think, the best ice cream on the strip here. They got some amazing flavors. They had that coffee donut ice cream that I got. You guys remember last summer on TikTok? I was like, if I get like, I forget how many ice cream cones as gifts, I'll go out tonight and I'm going to get myself some ice cream. And we came here. Let's see what kind of flavors they got here. They got carrot cake, Checker Boys rum raisin, some chocolate chunk, birthday, amazing chocolate chunk, chocolate Oreo cheesecake, which is really good. I don't know if I can zoom in and you guys can see that. Cookie dough, cookie monster, circus. Never had circus. I'll have to ask about that one. Luscious Sloan's Dark, fresh strawberry, extraordinary vanilla, dolce de leche, Dad's milk chocolate. Chunky peanut butter cup, coffee and donuts. That one is so good. Coffee bean is another good one. Coconut Storm. I don't know about that one. Luscious Sloan's White, Minnie and Indy's Fluffy Road, mint chocolate chunk, Mom's apple pie, mud pie, nutty pistachio, raspberry, Richard's Riot. Wonder what that is. Sloan's chocolate, Vincenzo's Nutella and vanilla. That sounds good. Vegan strawberry, vegan chocolate coconut. That sounds really good. Chocolate and coconut go together really well. Tracy's Scrumptious Pretzel, strawberry cheesecake, Southern butter pecan, and it looks like Snickers maybe. But they also have this, you can see it back there, the bottom row all the way over to the right. I have not tried Sorry Not Sorry. Wait, have we tried Sorry Not Sorry yet? I had to ask Jay if we went to that. I think we have gone to Sorry Not Sorry. I think we went there last year for National Ice Cream Day. But they have this thing, that third one down, the one over to the right, if you go left to right on the bottom row, that is called the kitchen sink. It's $100 and it comes in like a kitchen sink. It's a huge, huge sundae. Let's let you guys zoom back out here. There we go. I think we have gone to Sorry Not Sorry. Two white ladies that jumped in here. Like they were like, this is another, they had the Wizard of Oz display down here, and it's a great time to come and check that out. And we can go and check out the Lunar New Year display. This is the first time I'll see it. That's down here also. So there is no line for the Wizard of Oz display. I'm gonna have to wait until it's a little bit warmer. I think I would freeze from the inside if I had myself some ice cream this cold out. It's a little bit warmer. Maybe that'll be a date night for me and Jay to try salt. So if you want to come, if you're coming to see the Wizard of Oz, everybody comes and gets their picture here. Obviously, we can see now, this is a great time to come during the morning. Toto's in there. Oh, Donatique is awesome. I love Donatique. I guess they'll bring back the love sign after Wizard of Oz is done. We went there, I went there on a live stream right after they opened up, and it was like $20 some for a coffee and a donut. Oh, the line during the day here, when it's crowded and busy, the line at the Wizard of Oz is insane also. This is the Lunar New Year at the Palazzo. This is the Palazzo entrance. This is the Palazzo Casino down here. Year of the Horse. It's a very nice, simple display. I like it. But yeah, they are such good donuts at Donatique. The last time I went, I tried the tiramisu donut, which was so good. But yeah, I think now their coffee in there is like around $5. You know, donuts are gonna range, you know, there's a huge price range. Now on the back side of this Wizard of Oz, let's go see if it's still there. Yeah, we're gonna head back outside in a couple minutes, Eli, and start heading south down on the strip. They had the Illy Cafe also, which is good coffee. They just opened up an Illy Cafe inside of Cosmo. Yeah, so the coffee is like $6 for a large drip coffee, $5 for a small drip. And then in the back of the Wizard of Oz sign, they have the Wizard of Oz Cafe. They got some memorabilia in there that you can buy, which is pretty cool. Let's head out this way. Signal's getting a little bit weak again. So yeah, so me and Jay, we are affiliates for Aroma Retail. If you have a favorite scent, that is where you can go on that website that Murakami just put up and check out their resort collection. Use the Neon City promo code and get 20% on checkout. They have all your favorite resort scents. They have whole collections of flowery scents, any type of scent that you're looking for. Scent machines. We have a couple portable scent machines that we use for our car, for Jay's little office, and we have a whole house scent machine. Really cool. It's a product that we love. We've done some live streams from their store, so you can go check that back out in our Aroma Retail. And let's hit that like button. Let's get some more of those likes going. We've had quite a few people come through this morning. If we have any new subscribers, thank you. Welcome into the Chatters. The Chatters is what we name our chat here. You guys picked that name. And we call you guys the Chatters. You guys talk and me and Jay walk. Well, mostly me during these daytime lives. Jay is at home doing her normal job. Really not that much people in here today. So I want to take you guys to another spot that I really love. So there's a food court in here also, right off the casino floor. Let's go take a walk over there. A lot of good food in there. How and Ray's. I'm trying to think where my son brought me home a sandwich from not too long ago. There's a pizza joint in here. There's some good stuff in here. We'll come through. Got that sandwich from the other day. Grab another one and try it out for you guys. If I would have thought about it, I would have waited and got my coffee. Because there's a great coffee up here. Josh, you want to try How and Ray's? Nice. Yeah, we'll definitely have to give that a whirl. So this spot over here, this is called Dandelion. This is small batch chocolates. right? This is actually like a high-end chocolate store, right? They have some very, very expensive chocolate in there, but they also have some great coffee, mochas. Oh, so good in there. This is the lobby for the Venetian. It's beautiful. And more optical illusion floors when we walk around on the floor. Look at this. I bet most people never even notice the floors at a lot of these places are optical illusions. All right, let's head back out to the strip. I'm going to turn the Wi-Fi off because otherwise we'll just keep on glitching once we get out of here. All right. So we're going to head back out on the strip. We're going to look at the Hard Rock again and start heading south. I think walking around the Venetian at night is one of the, out here by the canals, some great lighting out here. So we'll take a look at the Hard Rock from the north side of the building first. And then we'll start heading south. Wind is beautiful at all the time, Grammy. Wind is a very beautiful property. But they're a little bit tough with like streamers and content creators in there sometimes. See some guys going up on the elevator there. Oh, you know what? I didn't even see that. So about 3/4 of the way up on those cranes, there's a walkway that the crane operators can take the elevator up, then walk across that walkway, and then head out to the crane cab. I did not even notice that earlier. All right, so we know that room right there is going to get a ton of sun. Right there on the corner on that curve there, that room's going to be a very hot room. Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit for Eli here. So right there, you see that top bridge coming out. That's where they go across. And then continue up to the top of the crane where the cab is. They got the strings running up on this side too. You know, I think Wynn may have something in their atrium. We could walk up that way. Let's walk up that way. If that's what you guys want to do, we can go walk up and check out the atrium there at the Wynn. Because they usually, you know, right inside there, they have the that atrium full of flowers. They did something for Christmas around that time. So let's go check it out. And then we'll hit the guitar on the way back. I feel like we do have to come back out tonight and compare if there's any crowds out tonight. You know, I mean, it's still early. What's boring, JK? Walking up to the Wynn to see if they have a lunar display, or have you seen it and it's boring? Or are you just bored? Because we're always open to suggestions on where people want to go, especially on these morning walks, because they're kind of just like free walks. So I keep checking to see if the December numbers have come out. I have not checked this morning to see if December numbers have come out on the tourism numbers for 2025. So we would get an end of year number for the overall, which is projected to be around 39 million visitors last year. So I want to see how far off the projections are from the actual numbers. And then I'd like to talk about that, because 39 million doesn't coincide with the narrative that was given that Vegas was dead last year. Now, scenes like this are real easy to manipulate into Vegas is dead, right? A Tuesday morning, temperature under 40 degrees, a slow convention week. I think there's only like 2 conventions out here, World Market and something else. So it's real easy to take footage like this and turn this into a Vegas is dead narrative. And I think that's what happened a lot last year, because the numbers just aren't coinciding with a lot of the content that we saw, right? It's real easy to cherry pick a moment in time, such as this one, and change the date, change the time, and say, look, there's nobody in Vegas. The streets was empty outside of Palazzo and things like that, right? So, but a lot of times, like if you spend a lot of time on the strip, you start to realize like what time of day things are just based upon the shadows, right? Anytime you see someone on the right side in shadows like we are right now, and it is on the east side of the strip, that would be early morning, because the sun rises on the east, so it gets blocked out by the buildings. If somebody's saying that this would be the afternoon, you pretty much know that it's not, because this side of the street would be sunny. This would all be sunny right now if this was 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the other side of the street would be sunny. I mean, blocked out. So, you start to notice things. I mean, I've seen videos where people were like, here it is, a Friday in October. I'm outside Bellagio, and, there's nobody out here. And it's like, dude, first of all, if you're standing on the sidewalk in the middle of October out front of the Bellagio, the grandstands would be there, and they weren't in these videos. And it's like, they're manipulating things. I'm not saying Vegas was not slow last year, because it was, especially at certain times and certain weeks, but it's not like how a lot of people made it out to be. 39 million visitors is the projection, and we'll verify that number once the December numbers come out and we get the year-end totals. So, it's interesting. I don't understand. I mean, I guess for clicks and things like that, kind of like the title I had this morning, right? Where are all the people? Well, I kind of know where all the people are. I'm starting a live stream at 7:30 in the morning. I know that most of the people in Vegas are still in their hotel rooms or getting ready for their conventions for the day. So, when it's a busy convention week, we see a lot of people out walking the strip in the morning with their lanyards on, things like that. And so you got to take all that stuff into consideration. That's why I always tell people when they ask me, is Vegas dead? I tell them, continue to watch my live stream, and then compare it to other people's live streams at different times of the day, different live streamers, where they're at on the strip, the location you're on the strip, all that stuff matters. So check out all the different live streamers, and then make that decision on whether you think Vegas is dead or not, right? But also look at the numbers and think to yourself, 2024, you had 41 million visitors. 2025 projected 39 million visitors. Does that equate to a slowdown or a dying city? Now, let's take 2026 and wait until December or January of 2027 and see if that trend continues, right? Let's track the numbers this year and see, are we seeing a downward turn? Are we going to end up at 35 million this year? If we are at 35 million, then yes, there's definitely a problem, because it's a trend down. And JL, yeah, and I mean, there's a few in Vegas too, right? I can't say, and I haven't really said that I haven't noticed, especially some weeks, like over the summer, we did notice, and we mentioned it on our other live streams, that it was quiet for a Friday night or things like that. But, we got to just consider, you have to remember, like, there's a lot going on in this world right now. A lot of economics and geopolitical stuff going on that is affecting people. And, every city in the world is experiencing some sort of slowdown when it comes to tourism. So, and Vegas has changed. There's a lot of people that have said to me, oh, I remember you couldn't even walk on the Strip, right? 20 years ago. Well, you know what? The Strip was a lot more crowded 20 years ago, and there's very plausible explanations on why you don't see as much foot traffic on the Strip. A lot of casinos are connected now, where you don't even have to go on the Strip. And, you have more trams. You have a lot more options of getting around out here now. So, and pedestrian bridges. A lot of people forget that the pedestrian bridges eases a lot of the stress of foot traffic, where you're not stuck at a surface level crosswalk, right? Waiting to cross Flamingo, and you got to wait a light cycle, which is 4 or 5 minutes. And in those 4 or 5 minutes, the crowds, they come around, they come around and they come up on you, and those corners would get a lot more crowded. The light would change and the crowds would disperse, right? Because people walk at different speeds. But then you get to the next light where there was no pedestrian bridge, and the same thing would happen. So you can see it outside of Caesars, or you can see it where there are not pedestrian walkways. So that's my theory on that. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Eli, no problem, man. Good luck today. Go make yourself a lot of pennies, man. A few pennies here, a few pennies there, add up to a lot of pennies later. So we're gonna head in win right now. We're gonna check out the atrium. So, I don't know, do you guys agree with my pedestrian bridge? I think I explained it pretty well. You can get from Bellagio to Park MGM now without even really going outside. As the Lunar New Year. If we start losing reception, we'll head back outside. Yeah, I don't see no Lunar New Year stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see. But, Jeremy, we try not to talk too much or put too much blame on one person, politician, or get into political things, but there is definitely that effect. Yes, the Murakami art is in here. Murakami has some art in here. This is one of those areas that I can tell I'll probably end up with a copyright claim. So after the live's over, I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, we'll figure that out. And then, yeah, I don't really see no Lunar New Year stuff. The only horses I see are up here at the carousel. This is beautiful. I do love this. This is a great spot for pictures, great spot for, a great spot for family photographs if you're out here with your family. There we go. Yeah, the economy is not doing so great across the board, right, Jeremy? You're 100% right on that. And also, people forget about the exchange rates, right? So here's the year of the horses, I guess, right? No, this is the carousel. This is like a evergreen part of this display. I'm surprised they don't have more about about the Lunar New Year in here, but it is beautiful. This is a beautiful little area. Let's go out these doors. This will take us out around the thing, out on Sands Ave. So, yeah, you know, we may see like an increase of people coming to Vegas after we get some tax refunds, if you get your tax refunds. So, who knows? Who knows? Let's go this way. But we, you know, we definitely have seen, you know, we've seen some steady numbers. We haven't seen like huge drops, right? Because when you take those numbers, the amount of people, the 2 million people that are projected less this year for 2025, that only equates out to what, roughly 7,000 or less people being in per day. So, you know, you got to take that, right? 7,000 less people, that's not really something that you could see per se, but that's not a guaranteed every day. Some weekends you may have had 50,000 less people in Vegas, you know? And you'll notice that. You won't notice a couple thousand less, you know? Now, there's a lot of things that Vegas itself can change. The casinos can change. Some things they can't change, right? They can't change visa times and who gets a visa to come and visit, right? Can't change that, you know? Wynn, Caesars, MGM, they don't have that power, you know? But what they can change things like room rates, and they can change things like, you know, the value you get for being in Vegas, so, you know. And then there's things in Vegas that they can't even change, you know, because they no longer control Vegas like people think they control Vegas, you know. Jeremy, yeah, and Vegas is changing because of that, right? Why do you think they have Sphere and all these residencies and stuff like that? Because people are coming here not to gamble as much anymore. People are coming here for entertainment, you know. Good morning, Mona. Madison, it's a pretty much across the board. I forget the numbers. Sarah, awesome. You moved to Vegas 4 days ago. Welcome, welcome. You know, everyone's experiencing some sort of turn down. I think there's only like 1 or 2 cities that haven't really experienced that much of a turn down. And then I think that's like Orlando and like New York City. You know, Orlando because of Disney, although Disney has seen a drop, but, and New York because so much international business takes place in New York. So, but yeah, you know, Madison, maybe that's something that we should look into, right? Percentage worldwide tourism is down as opposed to just Vegas. And we touched on this, I think, last week. You know, Vegas has changed so much because it's not competitive no more, right? We're not seeing, when you have like 2 major casino operators in MGM and Caesars that own a huge percentage of the Strip, and then only a few properties that aren't owned by either one of them, you're not going to see a competition like we used to, you know, because they're all the same customer. Everyone who is a person in the, you know, that likes Caesars, like, oh, I had a bad experience at the link, I'll try Harrah's next time. And they're still going to a Caesars property. You know, the value of food and things, you know, you don't get that no more because the casinos don't own the restaurants. They don't control the prices in the restaurants, you know? So there's a lot of things that the casinos have given up for steady streams of revenue, right? A steady stream of revenue, such as, rent on a restaurant, instead of using that restaurant as a loss leader to get people in to gamble. And that's what they used to do, Yeah, California still has a really good tourist economy, and so does Vegas. I mean, you can't argue that 39 million people coming to Vegas is a weak tourist economy, So, when you take Vegas as a whole, it has changed considerably in the past since 1990s, right? The 90s, that's a lot of people, the 90s, the early 2000s, right? But things started to change when MGM and started snatching up all the properties. Caesar started snatching up properties, and they don't compete with each other. They don't have those restaurants. They don't, so the competitive nature of Vegas back in the day that everyone remembers, he's got a $7.99 surf and turf. We're $6.99, they do this, we do that, they were trying to steal each other's customers, Harrah's and the Link. They weren't the same company. Now they are. They're the same corporation. They're owned by the same corporation. So, they do their pricing model across the board. Coffee here is going to cost $10 at all our properties. Coffee there is going to cost, So, and they don't have a value now, right? They don't understand that if I'm staying at a property, a budget property, say like the Link, right? Which is a nice property, but it's on the lower end of cost, right? Room rates. But I'm going to pay $10 for a coffee. I paid $20 for my room without the resort fee, right? So, that coffee there should be like $4 or $5. If you're staying at a Bellagio or Wynn or Venetian, a higher end property, and prices are more, well, it's understandable. It's a higher end property. So that's kind of where we've been for the past several years. And it's just been creeping up on us for a long time. 2008 is when resort fees started, right? And they've just been creeping up and up and up. And there's really nothing you get for a resort fee. You get access to a pool, to a gym, some Wi-Fi. Well, you can sign into free Wi-Fi in all these properties. The only difference between the Wi-Fi that's included in your resort fee when you rent a room is you don't have to sign in every day. Maybe it's a little bit faster. $50 faster? I don't think so. $50 a night faster? I don't think so. So, these fees that a lot of people are saying caused a slowdown in tourism have been around for a long time. Parking has been around for 10 years. Grammy, I know. That's the insane part of it, right? Is that you can still get a room for $20 and then $50 resort fee. So it's $70, but that $70 room is still cheaper than it is in a lot of cities, most cities. So if you compare hotel to hotel, right? So if you go to New York City, you're not finding a room for $79.99 all in, Definitely not. There you go. Your room was free, quote unquote free, because it was comped based on how much you played, right? So We just paid for Jay's mom's room at Flamingo over the holidays, and it was, I forget, $69, like, you know, with the room, the resort fees and stuff like that. So, you know, you're paying these resort fees, you're paying all these fees, and you're still getting a better value on a hotel room than you are if you're going to Dallas or Nashville. Nashville hotel rooms are pretty expensive down around, what's that, Broadway, the entertainment district in Nashville. Check out the prices of hotel rooms in other cities and compare them to Vegas. And even with the resort fee, you'll find that the hotel rooms in Vegas are usually cheaper. Food prices may be a little bit more expensive in Vegas, but not that much. I mean, I don't think the Vegas pricing is that out of line with the pricing in other cities, you know? So parking's relatively cheap also, I think, for a tourist city. You know, 20, 25 hours a night during the week, maybe 25, 30 hours on the weekends. I've paid more in Phoenix and Utah and Salt Lake. I've paid more in my travels for parking than I have in Vegas. So I think it's all relative. I think people are forgetting how much other cities cost, but they're remembering the better value that you got in Vegas, right? Vegas was all about value at one time because it was all about competition. Now it's not. So now it's all about everything's a transaction because they base how good they're doing on quarterly reviews, quarterly earnings reports, and not an overall year end, how did we do for the year? So when it's Vegas is operating exactly how Vegas is designed to operate under the current conditions. A corporate structure like that they have right now in Vegas. Now it's going to take one of these hotels, these resorts, these corporations, it's going to take one of them to turn around and say, hey, you know what, we need to change and look at an overall. How do we get, Caesars needs to say, how do I get people from MGM back to our properties? You know? Is it lowering resort fees? Definitely. Free parking. Caesars right now is trying to lure locals to the Strip. So Sunday through Thursday, you get free parking as a local, right? And it's not just a 3-hour free parking, it's all day, all night, 24-hour free parking. So, you know, MGM hasn't done that. So when you start putting all that stuff into perspective, like, all right, let's look at the parking, right? 2016, MGM starts parking, right? I think they actually started it like New Year's Eve or something like that in 2015. So Caesars, they resisted for like a year or so and didn't charge. Yeah, someone has to blink first, right? So Caesars sat back and said, what is MGM doing? We're not charging for parking. People, we are going to get so much overflow because people aren't going to pay for parking. But people that were loyal to MGM paid for parking. And that created a brand new revenue stream for, oh, there's a big lift. Try to zoom in a little bit here. Raising some big old beams up.
by reimbursing your first $20 of loss. $20 in player payback free credit play is instantly awarded to your account and available for download to any slot or video poker machine.
Putting some beams in there. So the parking created a brand new revenue stream for MGM. After Caesars realized that it wasn't affecting MGM negatively, they decided that we're going to charge for parking too, because there was really no friction created, because 2016 was one of the best years in Vegas's history as far as tourism. So they rolled it out when people were coming and didn't care. The economy was good, whatever was going on, it seemed like it was all good, right? So you had very little friction from the guest. People were still going to MGM. MGM was making a lot more money because now they were charging for parking. Caesars decided, let's do it too. Same thing with the resort fees, right? So, and the resort fees, they started back in 2008, right? So these aren't fees that just appeared in 2025. These are fees that have been around for a long, long time. So, you know, it's just not that. Yeah, players cards. Yes, your player cards are definitely something that you need to sign up for. If you're a fan of MGM properties, get your MGM one. Exactly, right? So that's the one problem that I've always said, right? That's great. You're going to give me 3 hours of parking, right, to come to your property. I get 3 hours of free parking. Now, I'm coming there to see a show. The show is about a 90-minute show, but you know, you want to get there at least a half an hour before, right, when the doors open. So, you know, there goes 2 hours of parking right there. If you want to stop and get something to eat, well, you're definitely going to be going over 3 hours of parking. So the 3 hour parking was just an illusion that they gave the locals. Like, oh yeah, maybe if you're coming here to grab a cup of coffee, you can get out of your car, get a coffee, and then get back to your car and get out of here. But 3 hours is an illusion. If you want the locals to come back up onto the strip, you got to definitely give them an incentive to come up onto the strip. But it is definitely it is nice that, you know, if you just want to go up there and whatever, like, you know, I use the 3 hour parking. We use it a lot, you know, short live streams, or we're going to do some content or something that's kind of, you know, in and out, then we can definitely get use of that 3 hour parking, you know. The Mighty Bull, what's going on, buddy? How you doing today? Thanks for joining in. There's lots of police across the street there. It looks like they're doing something over at Caesars in the parking lot. So yeah, so that's what it all boils down to now, right? We have a consolidated ownership of the strip with very few independent operators. So that is the main reason that we're seeing Vegas change and get pricier. Lack of competition. Right? That's like simple, you know, I guess economic theory there, right? Supply and demand, right? If you're supplying all the rooms, you kind of control the demand on your prices too. I think the Hard Rock is definitely going to spur some competition there, because people are going to want to stay at the Hard Rock. There's nostalgia about, you know, the old Hard Rock, and I mean, it's an awesome, beautiful building. I mean, you know, who doesn't want to say, yo, yeah, I stayed at the new Hard Rock, you know? So I think we'll see a lot of changes because of the Hard Rock, as far as them trying to lure people there. So, but we'll see, right? Only time will tell. I think, you know, I think Murakami, all of 2025, you were one of the people that said, let's see what the end of the year looks like, right? And, you know, another issue with a lot of that type of content is people don't really understand what they're being fed, right? And by that, I mean, you know, people don't know what a REIT is, or maybe they don't understand how hotel occupancy actually works, or, you know, they have an idea of it, or it's not explained correctly too sometimes, right? So that's, you know, that's another thing. Hey, Mr. Pigeon. The pigeons out here are so calm. All right, so if you're enjoying this little walk and talk right now, let's hit that like button. Let's hit that subscriber button. Those of you who have subscribed this morning, thank you for the support. We appreciate it. We do have super chats. We do have the stickers and things like that. If you like to support our channel that way, it's never necessary. We appreciate all of you that do subscribe. Uh-oh, sidewalk closed. We're gonna have to cut through. Check out the new carpet in the Flamingo too. You guys will get to see the new carpet in the Flamingo. I think the same thing, Murakami. The end of year numbers are the ones that count the most, right? Because you can have a slow quarter, but that doesn't mean and then you have a very strong quarter, and it all evens out at the end of the year. And what we're seeing that these places are still making money. So this is the new carpet in here. The new carpet in here actually does make the Flamingo smell a little bit better. It doesn't have that stale cigarette smell anymore. Well, maybe a little bit, but not like it was. Todd, what's going on, buddy? Coming out in March, awesome. This is one of those fun things that, like, we don't have to be so on the floor like we do on TikTok. Yeah, it is. I mean, it is pretty empty. What time is it? I'm not sure. 9 o'clock in the morning. I guess the degenerates are probably still sleeping. So, I don't know. Where is everybody? Mark, what's going on, buddy? 9 a.m. in Vegas. That's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing 9 a.m. temperature in the 40s. A slow convention week in January. Wow, I wonder what that looked like historically. So if you go back and you compare numbers, you know, January is usually one of the slowest months because there's really nothing going on. There's CES, you know, that's the major convention that kind of brings January's numbers up, you know. Here we are in Cromwell. Cromwell is soon going to be rebranded. I think February 15th is when the Cromwell is going to rebrand into Vanderpump. Now, here is a question for you guys. Now, Vanderpump, when they take over the Cromwell, it's going to have a new name. It's going to have some significant renovations done to it. What do you guys think? Does that qualify the Cromwell, or the Vanderpump rather, as a new casino, or just rebrand it if it has some major renovations and a new name? That's what I'm trying to think. Yeah, the downtown is, yes, the World Market. I think I was saying that earlier, the World Market. That's kind of like an industry convention too. So I think that's like when they open up that World Market Center and let people go in and see the inside of that building. That building is an interesting building. I know, right? That thing, the Cromwell has changed names so many times. It's crazy. Todd says a rebranding only. To you, it's a rebrand. Okay, so I think Caesars is probably going to market it as a new property, right? I'm sorry, not a new property, but like, you know, so there's three different ways that you can look at it. It's new because it has new rooms, new restaurants, a new name, right? So they market it as new. It's kind of like, you know, when Ford or Chevy comes out with a new design for the F-150 or something, right? They say the all new Ford F-150, right? So, you know, it does make for some good debate, right? Now, what do you guys think about the Hard Rock? Is the Hard Rock going to be rebranded or new? Or is it a hybrid? I think it's more of a hybrid myself. So, I think that's where a lot of the confusion, right? So if you say, you know, oh, the new Vanderpump place, right? Doesn't actually mean that you're saying that it's new, right? Does renaming it make it a hidden gem? Possibly, right? It could be a hidden gem. We have a brand new hidden gem property on the strip. You know? So I think we have to look at it in terms of, you know, how is it being described? Is it being described in marketing as new because to them it's new, right? To us, to a lot of us, yeah, it's just a rebrand but it's like technically kind of new. Maybe, I don't know. Elevated resort property, there we go. Yeah, right, because they're building a brand new tower. See, some people would say that the Hard Rock, which we're looking down the strip at right now, would be considered a new property because of the brand new tower, the guitar tower, and the existing building has been pretty much dismantled, right? All the systems, the plumbing systems, electrical systems, HVAC systems will be brand new. So, and a lot of people would say, well, that's kind of a new property because they've done some major renovations on that, right? So, and then you get into things like Fontainebleau or Resorts World, because are they new properties or are they kind of rebranded because they never technically opened as another property, but they were built as another property and they did a lot of changing of things there. So I don't know. Well, Todd, the old rooms are not just remodeled because they are stripped down I have a video on our shorts that show inside those rooms from a distance, and there is nothing left in those rooms. There's no more studs. There's nothing, no drywall, nothing. It is just a concrete shell. So, or you can look at it like, you know, when you buy a used car, but you tell everyone you just got yourself a new car, right? Did you get yourself a new car? Well, it's new to you. Semantics, right? Semantics. The hidden gem is Casino Royale. Yes, that is. We got some people in Lake Bellagio right now. So let's go check out Lake Bellagio. Let's see. We can see, if I'll zoom in here. You can see the scuba divers in there. Well, I don't know if they're scuba diving today, but they are actually working in the water on the track area of the fountains and the lights. You can see them guys in the center of the screen. They bring that little boat out there, and they maintain this. Almost every single day, you have these guys out there working. I think that's one of the coolest jobs that you can have in Vegas, is right there maintaining the Bellagio fountains. A lot of these guys, I watched the documentary about this, a lot of these guys, they started as security officers or EVS, you know, maintenance guys, and then they went and got scuba certifications and certifications based upon the systems that they use in there, and are now fountain engineers, I guess you would call them, right? This is their job. You know, they all have to be scuba certified, so that takes me out, right? Because I can't even swim, so I would never be able to have that job. But it is an awesome job. Now, we found another awesome job, and I have yet to see it again. At Caesar's Forum Shops, they have a scuba diver that goes and cleans the aquarium glass where the Atlantis show is. And that's another cool job. We always find these random cool jobs on the morning live streams. So there it is, the Bellagio. We'll look around for the Fortuna, the $3 million yacht that Bellagio has. So get a little closer view of these guys when we get up to about the middle of the fountains here. Now, I will be live again tomorrow morning for another early morning live stream. We may be back on tonight, me and Jay. I'm not sure. I would like to maybe come out and check the crowds at night and see what it's like. You know? So I think we have a lot of fun on these morning walks, and we gather a lot of information on these morning walks about things that you normally don't see in Vegas, because most people aren't up at 9 o'clock when they're in Vegas on vacation. A lot of people are just out here sleeping it off, right? Probably out a little late last night. So convention people, we got the morning joggers when we do the early morning ones. There we go. We got some more, a little better view of those guys working on the fountains there. It's always cool seeing that stuff. We can see the Fortuna in the back there. Let me see if I'll zoom in a little more. So there we go. We got the Fortuna right there. That little brown boat, that is the Bellagio yacht right there, Carbone Riviera. You need to be a special invite guest to be on that boat. You know, I've only seen it out in the lake a handful of times, 2-3 times, with a few passengers on it. They usually come out to the front here, right in front of the fountains in the center, and watch the fountains. So I guess it would be a really cool experience. I just don't know how much you need to to be invited on, how much of a whale you need to be invited on that yacht. You know, there is definitely definitely a high cost of invite there. So, Grammy, you lost your invite? You should have just been able to walk right up and been like, yo, I'm Grammy and Net. Let me on. But yeah, this is like, you know, for you guys that are new here, that just subscribed today, thank you so much. Introduce yourself in the chat group here. We call you guys the chatters. You know, we like to have a really interactive type of chat going on. You know, get to know each other, say hello. A lot of people have become friends on here. Give Dirty Grammy a ride. Oh, Dirty Grammy. Dang, you went from Naughty Grammy to Dirty Grammy. Nice. I like it. Sweet, Jimmy likes it. Oh. So they got the speakers working really good out here now. They do that every year after after F1's here. All these speakers are fixed, so it gets a little bit louder out on the strip right here. You guys want to go check out the conservatory real quick? And then I'm thinking I'll probably end this live after the conservatory. Just do a little bit shorter one today, like a 2-hour one. Bellagio has your number blocked. Yeah, well, that's because you call and request the songs all the time, Murakami. They're like, this is not a request hotline. So, yeah, let's go check out the conservatory real quick, and then I have some stuff to do during the day. Me and Jay, we're planning on coming back out tonight. So we'll probably do some live tonight and do some content. I mean, unless we get like, you know, a ton of people on here who want to keep walking, then maybe I'll consider that, to keep going for a little longer. But I think we're going to go check out the conservatory because it is still kind of a good time to get in there when it's not that crowded. So we'll check it out. But it's been fun this morning talking about the different aspects of Vegas, why things have been changing and why things have gotten pricier. And it's just not simple. It's not a simple answer. It's a very complex answer, you know. A lot of people try to just make it oversimplified. I try to make it not too confusing, you know, but I don't know. It is, JK. It is. It is. You are absolutely 100% correct. You think that's going to get a rise out of me? It's not. Okay? I mean, because I understand the mechanics of Vegas, and I think most people that are on here understand at 9 o'clock in the morning, Vegas is not a very hopping town at 9 o'clock in the morning. It has more of a nightlife, but, you know, I think most people do understand that, but maybe not. Apparently not. Some people don't. Some people just like to say that and try to be trolly, but whatever. I bet you remember when there was 45 million people out on the strip at 6 a.m. and you couldn't even move. But yeah, so yeah, Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., this is what you get in Vegas. We'll check it out again in, like, you know, the busier months, and you'll see the same thing. Actually, I think in the cooler months, you see more people out early than you do when Vegas has higher numbers of visitors, right? Because in the summertime, when it's 9 a.m. and 95 degrees, people are like, I'm heading to the pool, or, but to each their own. But thank you for the high quality observation there, JK. You're truly an asset to our live stream. Thank you so much.
You're up 15 bucks.
So we are heading into the lobby of Bellagio right now. We will see please don't push the door, lady, with the 2 drinks in her hand. I hope. So automatic doors do not push. Usually it's pretty safe to walk through without being pushed in the morning. So here is the most beautiful ceiling in all of Vegas, I think. The Bellagio lobby with the Chihuly glass. Foro di Como is what it's called. This is a Dale Chihuly original piece of artwork that was commissioned by Steve Wynn when the Bellagio was being opened. I think he really liked Chihuly because there was, yes, Mud pushes the door. So Mud just started a new job. So we're probably not going to see Mud on these early morning walks until he gets comfortable there. Madison knows. See, that's the nice thing about a chat like our chat. We have these I don't want to say inside jokes because it's, they're very easy to follow along to. I hate getting stuck in them doors when people push, and a lot of the chat when we go through them doors, a lot of times they start chanting, typing, push, push, push. I know. I would love to catch them cleaning that. I have never seen them clean that. You probably have to be here in the middle of the night. Here is the koi pond. Please don't toss coins into the koi pond. The metal is harmful to their habitat. If you see the fish sitting at the bottom of the pond, don't worry, they are just sleeping. Oh, you have on a live stream. Was it one of Michael's live streams overnight? That's a big one right there. Let's zoom in on that guy. That's a big old koi fish right there. This is so peaceful. I remember him talking about it one time on a live stream after that. There's some koi fish hiding underneath the waterfalls. You can kind of see their spots in there. Yes, the coins are for the slot machines, not the koi pond. I still think that the early morning as the sun is coming up and as the sun sets are the best times to come and see this display. I think that has the most effect because you have fireworks up there that you can't really see during the day. Although the horses do look great. So during the day with the sun glittering on them. Oh, wait, there's something interesting around the back. Let's hurry up around the back. I just noticed they are dusting the back. This is something we've probably never seen. So these guys are cleaning. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So that guy is cleaning and dusting the bamboo and the horses, and that is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Let's go check it out.
You can stay. You're not going to like it.
So they do maintenance in here constantly too. That is pretty cool. Shining up the horses. Never seen that before. You never know what you're going to get on one of our live streams in the morning, huh? We got guys working on the fountain. He's tickling the horse's belly. Jay, is that you? Or did somebody... Okay, I was like, uh-oh, did somebody hack into our account? Everyone say good morning to Jay. I'm like... So the garden table. The garden table is right over here this time. Normally it's back there by Siddell's. Oh, it's okay. I was like, what the heck is going on there? So this is the garden table. This one is very close. People can walk right up basically and watch you eat. All right, have fun. I probably won't be on too much later. I'll be home probably shortly. So this is cool. This is, you can get your lunch or dinner but from Noodles. There's only 5 seatings, right? These ones are cheaper. I think it's $150 for the dinner and like $120 or $118.88 and like $148.88, I think, for the lunch and the dinner. The Lucky Eights. Am I right with that? 118 and 158.88. Okay. I knew that there was a bunch of 8s in it. This is the second koi pond. This is right to the side of the garden table. Now, the other morning we saw them throwing salt into this pond, conditioning the water for the koi. There are no koi in the front pond. The front pond in front of the I think this one has too much of a current. Now that's truly like a one of a kind lunch or dinner, right? Because you're never, once this display goes away, you're never going to be able to recreate that lunch or dinner experience. And that's per person. And I think you get a ton of food also. In the videos I've seen in the past, there was a lot of food that you got for those prices. The koi are a little bit more active in this one this morning. Oh, Tyson, no longer allowed in the Bellagio. That doesn't sound good. I have to check out who did that video, Murakami. Did Lydia? I know Lydia normally does a garden table video, and it's usually pretty good. Las Vegas blogger. Okay, I have to check that out. Guys, if you want to see the garden table in action, go check out the Las Vegas blogger. Now this fountain here on Threads, okay. This fountain here, you can throw your coins in. So if you want to throw coins into a fountain, throw them into this one. All right, so we're gonna start walking back up and head towards Caesars. I am gonna start heading back to my house because I need to do some things. We've had I have that honey-do list that I need to work on. So we're gonna take a walk this way. We'll walk through, stay warm a little bit. Yes, that was Jay on there typing into the comments. Yeah, well, if I can make it over there, that's where I'm gonna end the live stream over at my favorite spot over at the fountains outside of Caesars. And like I said, go home, get some stuff done around the house, recharge everything, and then me and Jay will most likely be up here to try to do some content, or maybe another live stream later today. I don't know. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn on your notifications, and see if we do make it back on tonight. I know for sure I will be on tomorrow morning, bright and early, probably around the same time as today. I leave the early live streams, the ones that I start at like 5:30 or 6. They're every other week or so. Although those ones are actually really fun too, right? Because then we get to see Vegas as the sun rises and even less crowds, less people. So people like JK or whoever was in here earlier saying how dead it was, they can get their daily dose of it's dead. Which, okay. This is a Lago. This is beautiful. The outside of Lago. The inside is amazing too. Very, very cool. There's a lot of great high-end restaurants in here in Bellagio. Not a whole lot of places for cheap eats, to be honest with you. And there is a nice little cafe back in the convention area. Maybe we'll take a walk there one day. Jason May, what's going on? Welcome in all the way from Wales. Thanks for joining us this morning on our walk. I really appreciate it. The yellowfin. I think that's a really cool wall also. It's like fish scale. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of food options outside of like the fancier restaurants. There's a spot by the sports book, that you can get like pizza and stuff like that. Then there's like another, like 1 or 2 spots back in the convention area. But other than that, I mean, they don't have like a food court. I mean, it's like a higher end luxury property, you know? It wasn't really built for that, you know? Although Aria is also another super high end that was built as a super high end luxury property. And they have a really good, I don't want to say great, a really good food court up on the 2nd floor there. So a lot of good options at Aria. I think of all the places we've been in today, I think Venetian was probably the most crowded, which seems to be typical. Venetian and Bellagio always seem to have a pretty good crowd, but Bellagio's crowd this morning isn't that great. So yeah, New York's food options are great. I love that little food court area in the back. Greenwich Deli, that is great. The pizzas, even the happy hours at a lot of the bars in there, you get a good value on a lot of those. The breakfast specials, I want to try that place that you were at though, Chin Chin. I definitely want to try that buffet out there. I do like a breakfast buffet. Breakfast is probably my favorite type of buffet. I mean, especially if it has like all you can eat bacon, right? Oh geez, where did all my battery life went down? That just dropped. I think I'm gonna have to, I know bacon smells so good. Yeah, Chin Chin multiple times. Your breakfast, the breakfast, when I sat down with you guys the other morning, your breakfast looked great. So definitely a spot I'd like to try out. All right, so I'm gonna take you guys and throw you guys on a charger real quick while we're walking to finish this. So these are back on just a regular microphone. I don't know. Let's see. All right. And it's working. So yeah, so like I said, we have to figure out what I get done today and what we're doing tonight and all that good stuff, because I would like to come out, do another stream. This is pretty cool here. That is going to be one of those big giant billboards like they have across the street at Horseshoe. I don't think it's really going to affect that beautiful fountain that they had out there, but the sidewalk is closed down. It kind of forces you to walk through the courtyard here at Caesars. I hate when you can see the shadow in the screen there. Horses ho, right? That's a funny videos. That's a really cool property too, Horseshoe. Although again, it's a budget property that has very expensive places to eat in there. Whoop, sorry guys. Now, this is one of my favorite spots on the Strip. I love coming here, especially at night. The Evel Knievel fountains. So, I know, right? I'm painting the town red. Painting the town red. So, you can throw coins in here too. The coins are donated in this fountain support the University Medical Center Trauma and Burn Center in Las Vegas. And that's what that sign right there says. So the coins that go in there do go for a good cause. Even during the day, this is a nice view. But at night, when the neon's all lit up over there at Flamingo, it is beautiful. And Omnia Day Club, the pool and all, is going to be right here. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go. The construction for that is scheduled to end summer of 2025. So, or I'm sorry, 2026. And I guess Caesars has learned not to put a hard date on their pool projects after the Go Pool last year, the fiasco with the Go Pool. Oh, we're going to open March 17th, March 20th, March, April, May, June. When did it open finally? Like August? No, I think it opened in June, the Go Pool at Flamingo. So, yeah, we're going to double check that now, Murakami. I'm going to test out the signal in the back if we're on YouTube, because it may be different on YouTube than it is on the other one. So, I don't know though. Or maybe the Wi-Fi might be stronger back there. I'll try that again. But we've had so many bad experiences back there. I hate to do it live. How much privacy at the Omnia Day Club? That looks like it's going to be surrounded by some walls and stuff. So I think it's going to have some good privacy. But I'm going to do what I do at the end of these things. I'm going to flip this around and see. So, all right, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. We may be back out later on tonight. I'm not 100% sure, like I said. But really appreciate you guys taking these walks in the morning. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And we will see you possibly later on tonight. You guys have a great day. And we will see you a little later. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the support.